Hi, welcome to Lessons with John. Today we're going to go to Chicago, Sweet Home Chicago, and all right, let's just do it. The intro. Okay, that's your intro. We're also going to use it as a turnaround. This is a 12-bar blues, and so what we're going to do is we're going to do this little shape here: 3rd string, 4th fret, 2nd string, 3rd fret, and then the 1st string, 4th fret. So it looks like a D7 chord moved up. Technically it's an E7 chord. We're in the key of E. We're going to hit the 6th string open as our big downbeat, and then we're going to do triplets. Move it back, and just move it back 3 times. So you do triplets. So the strum is down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. Then I'm going to hammer my 3rd string from open to 1st fret, and the other 2 strings are open. Okay? So it sounds complicated, but it's really easy to play. It's not hard at all. Let's see, what else can I tell you about it? The other thing that, before I forget, is when I'm strumming, I'm real careful not to hit these lower strings, the bass strings. I'm really focused on the treble strings, the 3, 2, and 1. And my middle finger's pushing up into the 4th string in case I nick that by accident. It's that part's kind of tough because you could hit those strings and they'll get vibrating and chaos will ensue. What else? The triplets are real, it's kind of complicated. If you just go back and forth like that, it just doesn't work with the drummer and the bass player and so forth. The triplets got to be real, like down, up, down, and then you start again. Down, up, down, down, up, down. So you got to get the hand going pretty quick. So it's triplets. If you have trouble with triplets, you can use words like strawberry, your favorite fruit, strawberry, blueberry, raspberry. So strawberry, raspberry, blueberry, you know. So what's your favorite berry? My favorite berry is, what's her face there? Halle Berry. But she's got 4 syllables in her name, so it don't work, you know what I'm saying? So, and then we're going to have, so that's a C9 to a B9. So the C9 is 5th string, 3rd fret, 4th string, 2nd fret, and then you got your 3rd and your 2nd string, 3rd fret. Did I say that? 3rd string, 2nd string, 3rd fret, yeah. And then I'm going to mute the outside strings. My middle finger's leaning up, also my thumb's helping out, and then my pinky is leaning against that. So that's a C9, and I just drag it back to a B9. And that's my intro. It's not as hard as you think. Then you got your, the regular song starts, and they start singing. And all I'm doing here is it's like an E5. So I'm holding down the 5th string, 2nd fret, and I'm using the open 6th string, and I'm avoiding everybody else, and I'm palm muting. There's a video on palm muting if you can't do that. So I'm palm muting, and I'm just going back and forth between the 2nd fret, and I'm reaching up to the 4th fret on that 5th string, and I'm really only holding it down for 1 and picking it back up. So it's like, so I did it, you heard it's a quick change blues, which means it's 1 measure of the 1 chord, which is E in this case. The 2nd measure, we go right to the 4 chord. In this case, it's an A, some sort of A chord, and then you go right back to the E for the next 2 measures. So the first 4 measures are usually just an E in this case, but a quick change means it's E, A, E, E, okay? So the E is like that. The A, I just simply move over to the 4th string, 2nd fret. I mute the 6th string, and I use the open 5th string, that's A, and then I go back to the E. Then I go back to the 4th, and right back to the E. So there's a B7 for you. 5th string, 2nd fret, and 4th string, 1st fret, 3rd string, 2nd fret, open 2nd string, and then my 1st string, 2nd fret. I'm going to lean up into the 6th string with that middle finger and mute the 6th string because it'll sound horrible. And this time, instead of doing that pattern, I'm going to do the chord. I'm just going to go, let's see, Boom means I hit the bass note, the fifth string. Down, up, down, up. So I'm doing it pretty fast, but that's basically what I'm doing. I'm going boom. Right? It's up. No, it's down. Sorry, that was wrong. So boom, down, up, down, up. So in real time, it's like. So the next thing I do is I go back to the A, which means it's the 4th string 2nd fret, mute the 6th string, and use the open 5th string. And then I just hit the E. You can hit just the 6th string, or you could hit the E5, which means the 5th string 2nd fret and the open 6th string. And then same intro, which is now my turnaround. Okay? So now I'm gonna do the intro, and I'll do the whole thing. All right. Okay, and that's it for. You know, you can just do that for the whole song if you wanted. So you can use those for the verses, but there is a variation, like in the song when he goes 1 and 1 is 2 and 2 and 2 is 4, that part. Here's a variation that you can use on it. Instead of doing the quick change blues, we're going to stay on E for the 4 measures. But what we're going to do is we're just going to hit the power chord like 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. So what I'm doing there, and when I start doing it, what I end up doing is I end up doing an up chuck. You'll hear me go like that. So just before beat 1 on each measure, so on the and of 4 of the previous measure, I'll do this like open string thing where I just hit the up. I'll do an upstroke and go, and then I'll come crashing down on this. So 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, and then I hit this twice. So that little lick leads right to your 4 chord in a blues, and I'm using the E5 twice. I do 8th notes, down, down. They're all downstrokes. F sharp 5, which is the 6th string 2nd fret, 5th string 4th fret. Move it up a half step. Another half step. So a half step means the next fret. So 2nd fret, 3rd fret, 4th fret, and then you're on to the 4 chord, which is A. Okay, and all the rest is just the same. So the problem with like beginners and stuff, because this song isn't too bad. You can actually teach this to beginners. They don't keep the fret in between. Okay, that's basically what happens. So. And on this, I got the 2nd fret and the 4th fret, 3rd fret and the 5th fret, 4th fret and the 6th fret. Okay, that's the mistake they usually make. They usually play like this. They're too cramped and stuff because, hey, they're beginners. They don't know how to play it. You know what I'm saying? So we got to get them better. All right, I'm going to play the second version of it. So it's like 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. So that way, you can do the turnaround too. You can go, because most of the time you're doing the turnaround because it just keeps going on and on. But that last one I did an ending. So instead of going C9 to B9, I just simply changed it to F9 to the E9. So the F9 is the 8th fret. It's the same shape as those other chords. So 8th fret, 5th string, 7th fret, 4th string, 8th fret, 3rd and 2nd string, and I mute the outside strings as usual. Drag it back a half step, and you can just end it. Okay? So the ending. Okay? All right, so that's it for the rhythm parts for Sweet Home Chicago. You can just, that's all I use is those two different things. You can do different things like, you know, like, you know, stuff like that. Any blues turnaround or stuff will work with it. But that's the one that I use. All right, so improvising over this. This one is really cool. You can use a lot of different things. You can use E minor pentatonic. I haven't done any improvising video yet, but I guess it's going to have to come because it's just too much to talk about. So for this song, E minor pentatonic. If you don't know how to use it, figure it out, man. It's 6th string, 12th fret. So I'm going to do 12, 15, 12, 14, 12, 14, 12, 14, 12, 15, 12, 15. Notice I do use my pinky. A lot of people don't. And that's why their pinkies don't work. So, pentatonic works for this song. You can also use the blues scale. So that's just that one note. You don't want to stay on that blue note too long. You want to pass right through it, just like Halloween, you know, the people giving out the raisins. You don't want to stay at their house. You know, you got Kit Kat on one side and one's giving out the Twix bar, and there's the raisin. You don't want to stay on the raisins. If you ever heard that story, it's like, you know, Halloween, somebody's giving out raisins. Someone always is. So you don't want to go to that house. So the blues scale is 12, 15, 12, 13, 14, 12, 14, 12, 14, 15. That's the tough one because it's right there on the pinky. And then 12, 15, 12, 15. A lot of times on this one we'll bend. Instead of playing it, we just bend it. That way you don't have to stay on it very long. Okay, so you can also use some of the notes that are part of the major pentatonic. This is the E minor pentatonic. If you simply, like, you got your first finger at the 12th fret, if you were to put your pinky there and do a pentatonic shape on the other side, it ends up being an E major pentatonic. And what it is, it's used in a lot of country rock type sounds. Like so, Melissa's in the key of E by the Allman Brothers. So what they do is, instead of an E minor pentatonic, they use that country rock type, you know, and that sounds really cool for that song. But what you can do with Sweet Home Chicago is that note right there, that 14th fret first string, 14th fret second string, those work. And then you can use it, you can go back to on the 4th string 11th fret and the 3rd string 11th fret actually. Those notes work. They're part of the major pentatonic, but they also work for this song. So you can go back and forth and you can use them whenever you want. You know, that'll work for Sweet Home Chicago. But also the other ones. You can, and the other note that works is I call it the Chuck Berry note, just because that's how I learned it, is doing Chuck Berry tunes. Is like he did a lot of, so I always associated with him, and everybody ripped him off. So, you know, like Angus does his stuff, and everybody does. We all do. So 3rd string, 12th fret. That's the minor pentatonic. So that's it makes it an E minor type sound. But then if you were to do the 13th fret, that's the major. So it makes it from an E minor to an E major, and it's a cool sound with the blues. So you can use that. Johnny B. Good, in a different key, of course. But so this is like, I think of it like a super scale, because I can literally play so many notes for Sweet Home Chicago. It opens up so much more. Okay, but there'll be more videos on improvising and stuff. But if you could just record yourself playing the changes, and just try improvising over it, you'll start hearing sounds and stuff. And what I do is like I encourage kids. Someone told me when I was in high school to start like a lick library, you know, like things that you like to play, like, and then understand where to use them. But I was stupid like everybody else, and I didn't write them down and stuff. So, you know, when you get to be old, you start thinking, maybe I should have, and so you start doing it. So I've started doing it myself now, and then I pass it on to the kids, and nobody listens to me, so hardly anybody. But just like I didn't listen. But if you did, you know, then you can practice those licks, and they become something that you can do, and you can pull out whenever you need it, if you understand when to put them in, and then it just makes you a much better improviser. Because it gives you ideas, and you be more confident that way. So, all right, that's Sweet Home Chicago. Any questions down below, comments, and please subscribe and play more guitar.